Yo, what's poppin', everybody? CdoubleG in the hizzle, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to listen to the oracles and determine which one is spawning based on their sound alone without having perfect pitch. I don't have perfect pitch. If I did, I'd probably be making TikTok covers on Omegle videos instead of making Destiny 2 guys. But somebody put a Reddit post out with an oracle trainer, and the Reddit post will be down in the description below, and you'll be able to click on this link and follow along with me. But you turn on soundboard mode, you can click all the oracles and be able to listen to them and determine, which one's spawning based on their sounds, like to train your brain to listen to them. Mind you, it's very difficult to just figure it out from like the lows and the high tones that they make. Mid makes the lowest tone, and then they go from low and they rise to a higher tone. But there's an easier way to determine the sounds rather than, just listening to the gong itself. There is a sound that plays around the oracle gong that can help you determine which oracle is spawning. And I'll show you what I mean right now. So we'll start with L3. It's a higher sound, very high. But with the high gong that happens with it, there's a screech that happens like directly after. It goes, and then it screeches like a screech. If you play R3, it's also a high tone, but no screech with it. Just with no screech. It just ends. But with L3, it screeches at the end. And I don't know how well you will be able to hear it on the video itself. So if you open up the soundboard yourself and click L3, you'll be able to determine or to hear yourself the screech that I'm talking about. So that's how I determine L3 and R3 from one another. Both high sounds, one with a screech, one without. Now with this little application that they made, you can test yourself by playing the game and figuring out which ones are playing, and then you can guess them. I'm gonna replay it one more time because I was talking to determine which ones are right, which ones are wrong. All right, that was R3, L2, and R2, and I got them all right because they're all green. I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna get one wrong on purpose to show you that it marks it red. Okay, I'm pretty sure that was R1, L1, and L3. Instead of clicking L3, I'm gonna click R3. So I got L3 wrong because I clicked R3, but I obviously knew which one it was. I just wanted to show you that if you get it wrong, it'll be red. So I explained my reasoning for L3 and R3. So those are the two highest tones, one with a screech, one without a screech. Turn soundboard mode back on. Now, L2 and R2 are medium notes before you get into the low notes, okay? To determine L2 and R2, one has a rising sound that goes with it, and the other one has like a falling sound that goes with it. L2 rises, is like a boom, 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 that goes with the L2 gong. Blum, blum, blum. Blum, blum, blum. Blum, blum, blum. Like you can hear the blum, blum, blum. Now mind you, like again, if you can't hear it in the video, click L2 yourself in the soundboard and you'll be able to hear the subtlety of the blum, blum, blum to determine L2. R2 has a falling sound. It goes blum, 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 blum. It sounds like a spaceship falling out of the sky or something like that. Blum, blum. And that's L2 and R2. One's rising, one's falling. L1 is the low note with a twinkle. Like blum, blum, blum. It's like a star, like blum, in the background. It's a twinkle. It's the best way I can describe it. It's a low note with a twinkle in the background. R1 has like a Nokia 1998 ringtone type of vibe to it. It's like a really low note with a ring. It's the only way I can describe that. Anyway, that's how you determine R1, like a ring. R1 is probably the hardest one, but if you know all the subtleties to all the other ones, R1 is just process of elimination, because middle is the heaviest, lowest sound of all of them. You cannot miss middle ever. It's so low with hardly anything around it. It's just so low that you can't get that one wrong. R1 is like the hardest one, but it's not that bad. It just has the ring, like a little ring in the background. Hopefully this is making sense. But now I'm gonna play the game again, turn soundboard mode off, and we're gonna play the game again, and I'm gonna point out the little subtleties in each of the sounds. Low, twinkle, high with no screech. We'll play it again. Low, twinkle, high with no screech. So it's middle, L1, twinkle, high with no screech. And I have them all right. We'll do another one real quick. High with screech, twinkle, high with no screech. We'll play it again. Screech, twinkle, high with no screech. So screech, twinkle, high with no screech. I know it sounds crazy, but if you pick out those little subtle sounds in the background of these gongs, you'll be able to determine which oracle is spawning every time. With master mode coming out, you might need to, cover for your teammates that aren't as skilled at looking at their oracles, or maybe you're trying to solo templar or solo oracles. This is a very good thing to like pick up the ones that you can't see or the ones that you might have missed. We'll do one more, and then we're gonna see if taking it in game is practical at all. But this soundboard helps a lot, and it's also really fun to like practice it. High, no screech, fall, twinkle. We'll play it again. High, no screech. Oh no, that was a climb. That was a climb. It went plum, plum. We'll play it one more time. Even though you don't get 3 times in the game, we'll play it one more time. High, no screech. Yeah, that was a climb. And then a twinkle. So it's R3, L2, L1. I just enjoy playing the game. We'll do one more. High, no twinkle. Yeah, this is a fun game to play. And, if you get all these oracles in here, you kind of feel good about yourself. But anyway, we're going to try to take it in game and see if it applies, if we can hear the same subtleties that we can hear in the soundboard. All right, now we are in game, and we are going to apply what we heard in the soundboard and apply it to the actual game itself. I have a Templar checkpoint and not an Oracle checkpoint, which isn't ideal for this example, but if we can do it in Templar, we can do it in Oracles, no problem. So, trying to juggle the relic while also trying to get Oracles is not ideal. Okay, they all appeared right there. So I'm gonna just like wipe this real quick, because it doesn't really help the listening part when you can see them all. Maybe I'll drop the relic while the oracles are going, and so I can just hear them. But I did hear all of it. I did hear the ring, the climb, and the twinkle. But let's redo that. Just because they were all right there, you can see them all. I don't need to rally. Don't waste no flags around here. All right. Climb, fall, screech. Climb, fall, screech. L2, R2, and then screech. L2, R2, and then L3, right? Because we heard the screech. We got all three of them. Let's go. So, I think, I think that proves that the soundboard works. You can hear all the sounds, and if you match them with the soundboard, you have a pretty good idea of where all the oracles are. So if your friends miss them, or you're soloing Templar or soloing oracles, you kind of have, a bit of an advantage. Mark for negation. I'm gonna try to do one more round. Let's see if we can do one more round of oracles. I heard a screech. Yeah, fall, a screech, and no screech. I think it's R2, L3, and R2. I think it's L3 and R3. Yep. L3. I couldn't get it fast enough, but I think it's pretty solid evidence, guys. I think it's pretty solid evidence. Of course, I wasn't in the areas I should have been. I was trying to just completely not see, the oracle, so that way I can just completely use my hearing. But yeah, play with that soundboard. Go with the references that I made. High with screech, high with no screech, rising, falling, twinkle, and ring with a hard low for the middle. And I think you'll be able to listen to all the oracle sounds without having to see where they're at. So you can do all the challenges and help your friends, or just have some fun. I thought this was a very interesting concept, and when I figured this out, I thought I'd just share it with everybody. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment any questions that you have below. Sub to the channel, it helps a bunch. But anyway, I'll see y'all in the next video. Deuces.